All right, guys, so I wanted to do a quick video of the snowplow attachment that my dad made up for my Kioti CK3510. I do have the auxiliary hydraulics in the front. I think it's a must-have for these compact tractors. I got this smaller tractor, this 35 horse, basically because I got to fit through gates for the horse arenas. You know, I think they're about 8 foot, but just once I go down, there's an aisleway down on the far side of the pastures. I got to run through there, and I brush hog those fields quite a few times during the summer. And having a small tractor just is a little bit easier. I got this, you know, we'll do more in-depth review of it, but basically got it. I mean, the price, it was a cheaper tractor, and it also had higher capacities than a lot of the competition. So lift capacities and things like that. I think this thing's rated at over 830 or 1830 or 1850 in lifting capacity, and that was important to me because I got to move a lot of poop and a lot of sawdust. It's not, you know, gravel or anything like that. You can put gravel, but it's a quick summary of the tractor, but we'll hit on that some other time. Snowplow. So this does have the Kubota, or not Kubota, but the skid loader quick attach. Just like, you know, most people with this know, but in the snow, you want to make sure you get this thing all cleaned up. You want to get that ice off of there. One, if it keeps getting colder, it's just gonna freeze. You're gonna have to heat it up with some sort of a blowtorch or something to melt all the ice to get this thing to unlock. The quick attach on this tractor is kind of a pain as well. I don't know if this is typical, but you get sawdust or manure down in there and down in there, and then it gets cold, it freezes up, and you can't get anything on it and you can't get anything off of it. But just a quick tip, make sure you get this thing cleaned off before you attach it. One, if there's snow, it's a very tight fit. I mean, it fits on here real tight, and the hook on the bottom there won't go through these little holes if you've got anything on that plate. So it could be dirt, but in this case it's snow and ice. So I'm gonna spend a little time, get this thing cleaned up. I'll get it hooked up, and I'll give you a quick demonstration of what this thing does. I mean, it's fully hydraulic, so it does pretty much everything a truck plow would do. And I'll walk through how we kind of put this thing together as well. All right, we're back. All right, so Kioti's got a pretty ergonomic, Kioti's got a pretty good setup here with just 2 buttons for the auxiliary, the fronts, and you hit it, you got the plow goes right and left, no problem. The only thing you got to be careful of is what angle you're on. So if you're on, you lift it up, and there's a way. I mean, you can set it with the bucket or the tilt bar, but I don't really use that. I'm good enough to where I know when I'm going to be digging into gravel or not. I mean, you got to be careful with that, because you will take a lot of gravel up if you don't. But pretty much on this plow, you know, I bought this plate, the Quick Connect plate, right on Amazon. I think it was a couple $100. You don't need the real heavy duty. I think it was like 1/2 inch or 5/16 or something. You can get the 3/8. So bought that on Amazon. I had a plow mount from my UTV that I used to have, 1000 cc. So I beefed that up, or my dad beefed that up a little bit, and then, but it had all the, you know, how it rotates the pins and stuff like that. Then I also bought a plow, like an old rusted out plow from like a junkyard that was local. And all we did there was took it to a local shop, and they rolled some steel for us, and he re-skinned it. So we put a whole new skin on it and painted it. I think the whole job, I'd say it probably cost less than
I'd say less than probably 600, 700 bucks. Standard plow, hydraulics for each side. Pretty simple. Springs came with the plow that I got. We got new bolts for it. The plow from the junkyard. So a lot of welding and fab work that I'm not the greatest. I just can fix some minor stuff by welding, but my dad is like a welding genius. I mean, you could pretty much build anything with it, which I can show you more of that stuff too. But I just bought these from the local hardware store. You know, I had the ski ones and they just didn't do anything. They did not help. I've got a gravel driveway and I'd take up half my gravel sitting on those. So these things are much better. I would highly recommend getting those instead of the skis. So I'll show it in action here, but that's about it. Let me know if you guys got any questions in the comments. Thanks. Best thing about the snowplow on the tractor is that you can pile it as high as it'll lift. I mean, this one will do 10 foot, so you'll get a lot higher on your tractor than you will on a truck by far. And you know, like I said, I had this on a side-by-side, and you know, side-by-side worked great. I don't have a full cab, but I mean, this thing does way more work than a side-by-side. I mean, this isn't a real good example. We don't have a ton of snow. It's kind of the heavy snow, but it's only a few inches. We do live in the snow belt up on Lake Erie in Ohio, so we'll get hit a few times where it's over a foot of snow. And I got a pretty big lot, so it's nice to have something that you can remove a good amount of snow, remove snow pretty easily. And then I got a full cab on this thing, so it's much warmer than my side-by-side, plus a radio and whatnot. So highly recommended. You know, it is easier with any plow once everything freezes, but we've been kind of had a total de-thaw after our first big freeze, and everything's still a little soft. But I try to pile all my snow in areas where I have gravel, so I can just spread it out every summer. It's just inevitable. You're going to get some stone in there. Maybe people are better than I, but there's just no way I've been able to do it without any stone. One good way to help prevent it is to, you know, don't re-stone your drive late in the year. Let it be all compact and ready to get, you know, I guess added to or box bladed up before. So it's really not even that much snow even to plow. I'm just stirring things up pretty much because everything's turning to ice, and who knows how long we'll be under freeze. And you know, it'll freeze thaw, and if you don't remove this little bit of snow, it'll just turn to more ice, and then you got bigger problems. Knows where the snow plows. Just put it in my driveway, right in my entrances. So getting those taken care of. And when you get a little bit of snow, it's probably the only priority. Make sure nobody gets stuck coming in my driveway. Like the Amazon guy, he's been stuck a few times because their trucks are absolutely terrible. So get out of the way of these cars. All right, I'll show some more action footage outside the cab here in a minute, so stay tuned. work with. You do got to be careful because you can gouge your gravel pretty easily. I'd highly recommend getting a tractor. If you have a tractor, getting a plow for it. You can buy these, I believe, as well. You don't have to go my route. I don't know how much they cost, but I'm sure they're not cheap. But if you got anybody that you know, a fab company, I'd buy all the parts and pieces and take it to a fab company. The hardest part is going to be finding that bracket for it to turn on right in the center there. That thing, you could probably buy an old UTV, something pretty heavy duty. You're going to have to reinforce it if you do. Or, I mean, you might be able to make a plow truck mount work too. You probably will be able to. But it might be a little bit more expensive, but it's going to hold up. I mean, I've had this thing for 3 years. I haven't broke anything on it. I've been pretty hard on it. I mean, those springs on there, I think they save it from breaking. They'll release. I don't have them too tight. I don't really need it. It's just for my driveway, my use. So, not a big deal. But other than that, that's all I got. Leave any comments or questions in the comments.